What a well did you on the mic? What coming in with a nice sweet 2.5 format deck profile, and we have to really bring back the boy. JESMON GX, baby. And what do I think to the new direction? I'm not gonna lie, I'm stubborn in my old ways. So in this video, if you want a list that is nice and classic, still got the investment of the Systemons, but let me tell you, when you are pushing out, you are going so hard into the opponent's security, you're gonna make their head spin. Then make sure that you stick around and get comfortable, because I got a list here that is spicy and surprisingly works. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe as well, because I do videos on the reg for real. But further ado, let's get to that list and show you the secret spice that no list be running. Yes, sir. Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty. Starting off with the eggs, rocking in with a solid 4 of the Goemon coming back from retirement. The reason being is that the draw is actually quite useful in this list, because we're essentially going for the main combo to our top end in order to clap those cheeks. That's the main gimmick, and getting a nice additional card in order for us to either further extend or get a key piece in order for us to claim win next turn is going to be vital to the strat. So solid 4 for sure. Going on to now the rookies. So we go in with the 4 Hookmon. Searcher, obviously searching key pieces is definitely the way, and getting revealed top 5 and getting 2 pieces from that is going to be crucial for the overall strat in order for us to once again go to our top end and do damage. Then we still go on the absolute reliable BT13 Hookmon, mainly for the memory. We still incorporate Systemons in this list because I'm an old-fashioned like that, and I still feel like Systemons still have value in this particular archetype, despite Bandai changing up a little bit. So mainly we are just using it for the inevitable out there. We will never really use the your turn effects to, essentially, if we play our sister, we can evo into a bow hook without paying the cost from hand. That's definitely not going to happen. Then we go in with the new BT20 Hookmon. So this Hookmon is solid, but because we're going to be kind of in the back, I don't think we'll ever really get the actual start of main to, you know, trash a card from hand and then able to draw one and also gain the memory, but it may come up. But realistically, you can hero in the back till you either get to your champion or get to your level 5, being the ultimate. But the inevitable really does come up clutch, because realistically we want to be kind of getting out our Systemons to build a fortified board, but this time with Omni Protection, being that, you know, we're untouchable from the Ganku 1X effect. Then we go to the Systemon ratio, and that's going to simply be the Systemon Blanc starter deck. So the reason why we run this at 3, this is our main draw consistency booster. So when we're kind of popping off in mid combo and we want to kind of basically get a load of pieces in order for us to effectively go to our top end really consistently, this is going to help out massively. We are running something a little bit spicy here, guys, so this is probably one of the key pieces in order for us to execute our plan. And if we've already got the card in hand, then this is just like a cherry on top. For real. Being able to just trash a card from hand and draw 2 is very powerful, especially when we want to kind of, you know, move our pieces about in order to execute our key combo. So that concludes that for the rookies. Now let's go over to the champions. So we go in with the 4 of the new bow hook. So this is really solid because once again it gives us an option to play out our Systemon, and we can reduce the cost by 2, because realistically we want to be playing out our Systemon Blanc. That's going to cost us 1, and then if we have the BT13 Hookmon in our inevitable, it's effectively free, which is absolutely perfect. So we managed to once again draw 2 without really any form of cost right there. Obviously inheritable, once again crucial in order to boost pretty much all of our Digimon by additional 1k. Then we complement that up with the BT13 Bow, really solid champion here, and once again that inheritable really strong because we still incorporate Systemons in this list. And also on top of that we do have the your turn effect, which actually comes pretty clutch and works really well with the new savior in order to reduce the evo cost by 2 if we obviously play out a Systemon which is once again really helpful. And then we rounded off with the Hong Zero special, and we do go with the free BT10 CL. So this is once again kind of our combo extender, being the key thing, and also our memory gainer there too, which is really powerful, because when we are going into our top end, once we're pushing out and we're doing the combo, realistically we should have game next turn without a doubt. We build a 4/5 board which should be immune, we should be laughing, and this card really helps with that, especially in combination with our spicy tech that we do run in this list. The memory gain is crucial, and there's some really awesome interactions between this card being the BT13 Battle Hook and this there as well, just really kind of fly up your line, because realistically if you throw this out, you can trigger this one first to go into your savior, and then you can trigger this effect to then go into your Jesmon and then start off from there and absolutely go through that high roll. But then that concludes for the champions, nice and steady. Now going over to the ultimates even split up in this bad boy. So we go in with the new savior, which is very handy in order for us to kind of pop those floodgates, especially because it's got an on-play on there as well, but the on-play will probably never come up, but the wind revolving definitely comes up there. And then the end of your turn, by suspending another Digimon, you can evo into a Jesmon in name without paying the cost. Absolutely massive. Once again, we are using Systemons in this list. We can effectively get that off pretty efficiently, and on top of that, we do have the Alliance inheritable there too to further go in for that big damage. Then simply we go in with the BT13 savior hook there as well. Once again, it really depends on the scenario that you're going to be in. This one kind of comes up a bit more stronger than this, and then vice versa. The thing that I do like about this one is obviously that inheritable in order for us to play a Systemon from hand or trash, which really does come up quite clutch when we do need to, hyperextend, and then also gives us another line of play that we could effectively throw out a Systemon, get a high roll search, and then effectively go into our Jesmon in order for us to once again execute that combo. Obviously it's a little bit narrow on the level 5s, but once you are basically at level 5 and you're pushing out, your combo begins and you should be going into Jesmon GX. So that concludes there for the ultimate. Now let's go over to the Megas. So Megas, this is where it's really go time. When you push out, you're doing big damage. Starting off, really bringing out a boy from retirement here, and that's going to be the Jesmon starter deck right now. His boy is coming out and really swinging with this list for real. The fact that one evos for 4, but we've got ways to effectively evo for 3 off of our new savior. But the thing that really is the key thing with this, and this is where the Jesmons really help, is that blitz or a pseudo blitz with the gold classic this Digimon may attack scenario. Then on top of that, it's when attacking is that we're able to play a Systemon from hand, being quite crucial here, in order for us to effectively get the your turn effect of gaining additional security attack +1 and 3000 DP, which is then huge. So this boy is going for 2 checks, and obviously we do have the new savior which has Alliance, which effectively you can tap, and then you're doing 3 checks. But it does not stop there. We flurry that up with the new JESMON X antibody. We do run a set 2, and this is once again just kind of a bit of an option depending on what your setup is looking like. But realistically as well, this works with the new BT20 savior, because once again it's just got a native Alliance, but it does have the wind revolving effect. If we do have X antibody in the source or either on top of a Jesmon, this Digimon is basically unaffected by opponent's effects for the turn, and then one of your Digimon may attack. Most of the times this will probably whiff if you've either on top of your Jesmon, but if you haven't, effectively this is where the pseudo blitz comes in, and that's where you get this kind of the snowball effect going on there. And then on top of that, your turn, all of your Digimon with Systemon, overall night in its name, game piercing, till the game piercing, and it can attack unsuspended, which once again not really applicable in this because you're going into your top end, but that's also pretty much the inheritable effect there as well, which is going to be massively useful. Then the main mon that is going to keep your Digimon alive and is the absolute linchpin of the deck. And that is going to be your new Genkamon X antibody. We rock this at 3. So strong. This is basically just replaced the Magnamon X antibody that we did run at 3. It pretty much pseudo does the same thing, but the thing that's really good here is that it has got a when Digivolve effect, and that is Digivolve 2, which we do love a good cheeky little Digivolve 2. But if we do have X antibody or Evoed on top of a Genkamon, basically our Digimon become unaffected by your opponent's Digimon effects to the end of the opponent's turn, which is huge. And when you are built out wide and you've blown through their security, realistically, they need to think of something. They need to really think of a strat in order for them to not die next turn, being the thing. And then on top of that, the inheritable is that opponent's turn, all of your Digimon, what if this Digimon is JESMON GX, all of your Digimon game blocker and reboot. Huge. Absolutely huge. So run that at a solid 3. Now we combo that up with a JESMON GX BT10. Still the best one. Still the best one. This is the card that you want to be going into, and the card that's going to be doing some big damage right here, because you will get an additional security check per Royal Knight that you have in your source. And because we're mid combo, we've literally already got 2 checks of this alone. Well, we've got additional security check, and then you're going to get additional security check because it is a Royal Knight. If you've got this in source, that's going to be another one. If you've took this under due to the JESMON GX effects, that's another check. And then you'll have Alliance. You're going through the stack. You're unaffected. You've got piercing. They can't do anything. They legit can't do anything. They just have to watch you just claw through. Granted, you're not attacking unsuspended Digimon because you've already triggered the the sequencing in terms of you declared an attack into security. But you're going through those ends. You truly are going through those ends. Fantastic card. Aging like a fine wine. And I'm really tempted to bump it up to 3. But we still run, or I say still, we have incorporated the JESMON GX Ace. Yes, it is not an alt art. Unfortunate, but I'm still not 100% sold on this card. It is great, but this is just better in my opinion. But it is useful in regards to tucking it under this, because effectively you can get another source underneath it and trigger its when Digivolve effect to essentially pop a Digimon that is equal or less than this Digimon's DP, which is massive right there. And then if we are in this particular JESMON GX, when we are attacking, we can took a Royal Knight underneath this Digimon, and we are able to unsuspend, and we're able to trash the top card of the opponent's security per 2 Royal Knights that we have in our source. So if we happen to have 4 Royal Knights under our source, then we are able to trash 2 security before then doing the initial check. And obviously we do have Alliance, so obviously big damage there. So at the moment I'm testing it out. It's doing okay, but these are definitely the ones that you want to go into, and you can certainly just switch these out and just run free of the old JESMON GX if you want to, but it's completely up to you. So that concludes there for the Megas. Now let's go over to the options. The options is where it's getting really spicy. So as standard, we do run our consistency booster. So Garnet, we already know what that does right there. It's essentially going to be searching those top 3, and then we're able to basically pick our line bar the sisters and our options, which is absolutely fine. We do still run the Master Disciple at 4 because it's just, once again, a great consistency booster. We can get our Systemons, we can get stuff in trash, and then we are able to bank that and reduce our next Evo cost by 1, which in tandem works fantastic with this because we can able to gain 2 memory where we need to. These 2 are really good if you've already got all your pieces and you just literally just banking up memory so you're not passing over too much memory to the opponent, being the thing, because I can assure you, if you reach your top end, you're doing all the checks. It like I say, it don't matter what's in their security. You're going in and you're doing all the checks right there. Now, this is the card which I'm like, I've not seen lists run it, which is bewildering. And I had to test it because I was like, if I don't draw into it, then I've got to think of other ways to still perform my combo efficiently without too much effort. But if you have this card in your stack, it is unreal. The devil's in the detail. X antibody. Literally, every card is either saying, if you have X antibody, do this. Why not just put it in? The reason why I've upped my account on System on Blanc is to effectively draw into this card. Granted, I can't do it obviously in mid-combo, that'd be kind of wild. But if we have already got this in us, if we've got this already in our hand, we're cooking. If we haven't, we can just literally play out our System on Blanc in order to grab it. We have ways to essentially pop off into our Blitz Jess in order for us to execute that combo if needs be. And just pushing out and just tucking this under and then commencing the sequencing is great, because you can effectively then either further high roll if you need to, and then just use this one attacking to evo into your JESMON GX or so forth. So you've still got System on CL BT10 to essentially do the combo and obviously gain memory and all that once you've evoed up your line. But effectively, if you have this and you may only have one System on CL, you can still get to your top end pretty efficiently and do massive damage. Only thing I would say is, one, listen. Well, we listened, we don't judge. I would certainly try it out, see how you get on, drop a comment back in the box, because I've been trying it and I thought I wouldn't have it in my hand as often as I do, and I do have it in my hand as often as I do, and it feels so good. Then we finish it up with a second mapper at 1. This is, once again, if you have this in your hand, you've really got game at that point. It's just like you have just got game for real. Because realistically, our Systemons are going to be immune to whatever the opponent's going to be throwing out. So they only how they can pretty much survive is if they can throw out X amount of blockers and match my energy, which is going to be very hard for most decks. Most decks don't actually run blockers that much. Obviously, we do have, say, like Zafargamon that can natively grant blocker to a Digimon, but no deck can necessarily put in blockers as such anymore, just because it's so easy to get around. At least with second Meppa, you can literally trigger JESMON GX's effect again, and then tuck some underneath and make everything immune, and then you're just like, yeah, I've won now. Happy days. Or if you've retained memory, then effectively use this and just literally swing for game. Only how they can obviously win is if they've blocked. Obviously, a pacing jet does not class as you obviously swinging for game, being the thing. But you know, likelihood of that happening is pretty slim. But that concludes there for the options and the deck profile. Let me know what you think, because I like to keep it old school, and I've invested too much. Peace. So there you have it, guys. JESMON GX Deck Profile for your retinas, for you to tweak, adjust, and certainly try out. So what do I think to JESMON in a new direction? At the moment, I like old school Jess, and I like Systemons. That's just me. That is just me. So when I went in with this build, I was like, right, how can I really capitalize on what JESMON already does, but further utilize the tools that we do have access to now? Because the hook, the bow, the savior's solid, absolutely fantastic. The new Ganku is superb, but the thing for me, I'm like, well, I don't want to go for this kind of high roll combo or hard slam something down or whatever. I still want to feel that nice adrenaline rush when I'm going for that big combo, that big swing. And X Antibody just makes perfect sense. Like, my analogy was realistically, like, you know, we have like classic birds where it used X Antibody protoform, but it had no way of actually searching that card out. But somehow I was always drawn into it, and it's not a problem. we do have cards that can simply just draw into our X antibody. And also, if it's propped from security, even better. It acts as a bomb, and it's also in our hand. As soon as you push up, it literally gives our top end pseudo blitz. Especially if you're your savior, we can literally swing and initiate a freaking Evo into our Gankumon X antibody and just sit there. It's not the problem, because I'll be effectively immune and I'll have reboot, and that just literally just triggers then a nice little ace play. This list is basically kind of covering all forms of scenarios when you want to push out or when you want to kind of high roll. If you've got that setup ready, you can push out from champion and stop already building that wide with your Systemons and effectively Evo, and you could literally Evo for free and go into then your Blitz Jess, and then that just starts popping off and go for that nice little high roll effect right there. It's just so nice in order for me to kind of sit back, chill out, but actually, if I'm really like, you know, one security check and I'm like, right, do or die, I can actually go out and actually not get punished. The issue that we had with the previous support is that, yes, we could be protected by DP reduction and have, you know, bounce and so forth, but we could still be deleted. And now that we have Gankumon X antibody, we just can't be affected by Digimon effects globally. So it just makes it very hard for the opponent to kind of out that particular Digimon. And then on top of that, if they even out that particular Digimon with an option, let's just say, I'll have my Blancs who could effectively just negate me from being deleted. Granted, won't negate getting bounced, but at least I can decoy if that was going to happen. So definitely try out the list. I know people thinking, like, what if I don't roll into it? That's fine. You have Systemon Blancs, Systemon CLs that are going to be essentially your pseudo X antibody. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. You got Inheritals that can play out your sisters. We've got part of our lines that can effectively play out our sisters when we want to. Heck, we can even hard slam a sister and still get the absolute value. The new Bow literally makes us play our sister for one. And if we do have BT13 hook underneath, that's for free. We've drawn two and trashed a key piece of the combo, which we can just get back out with our JESMON GX. So definitely give it a whirl. Definitely, you know, want to have that feedback in the comments, because I will do some gameplay videos soon as the online client gets updated. Trust me, there will be videos of this list on there. Believe. But guys, that's your boy done. If you enjoyed the video, smash it with likers. Stay safe, stay fly, and I'll catch you next one. That's your boy D Dread, off the mic.